Yeah guys, today I'm going to make a pretty detailed review or video about this GLLAVA electric shaver for men. Of course, everybody can use that, not only men. So it can not only work for the beard, it can also work for other parts to cut other hair, also body hair, absolutely no problem. It's a super interesting device. I think it's a rather new one in 2025. It has a very innovative, super interesting construction, which I'm going to show you in detail because it has really a lot of advantages. By the way, the model type, as far as I can see here, says FK-398. Comes with quite some nice features, nice specs. Here you can see some, but I'm going to show you everything in detail, and also I'm going to let you know how it really worked for me. By the way, when I received the box, it was pretty dented, even more than that, but there was absolutely no damage on the shaver, so it looks like it's a really robust construction. I'm also going to compare it with my old shaver. I actually liked it, but it was not perfect, especially regarding cleaning. That was the main reason why I bought this one here. Going to show you that later. So let's start with the design. I think a lot of people could be interested to see how this looks when we look at it very closely. I've seen some pictures of it which looked a little bit different, so I think they have been upgrading the design. I don't like it too much because it is more round than before. Before it had more edgy design, which I liked more, but I heard that this design works actually better for shaving, so it's probably a good thing. So now let's also compare it to this one here. Yeah, the negative points from this one here were actually the reason why I bought this one here, because the cleaning is pretty difficult here. You can see we have 5 shaving blades, but we have to open them individually. This one we even have to rotate counterclockwise, is pretty much standard, and only now we are able to really clean it. I mean, sometimes you are successful with just cleaning it under running water, but especially if you have been cutting longer hair, then you have to open that, and then it's really a lot of work also to put it back. Not super easy. Now of course a little bit easier again. Align nicely. Yeah, all these things I wanted to avoid. I mean, it's nice to have these 5 shaving blades here. They adjust also a little bit individually. What I like here is that the distance or the gap between the blades is very small. Also the outside, the rim actually very small, so it has a lot of surface to cut and not a lot of, like I would say, wasted space, wasted area. And when we look at it in the first place, we would think, okay, this one here has huge disadvantages because it has more gap in between, more gap also outside. We only have 3 blades, but overall the shaving performance was much better here. That's a big surprise. I don't know how they are achieving that. I mean, of course, the blades are also a little bit larger here. What we have to know also, I mean, this is flexible, but it's not as flexible as with this one here. Watch this thing, how flexible this is, and not only while it's in the off position, when we turn it on, here you can see it's also still so flexible when it's running. By the way, when you take it out of the box, it's in the travel lock, so we have to long press. Here you can see now it's in the lock position. When we long press, I think for 3 or 5 seconds, then the lock will be removed and it starts working, and then we see also the percentage of the charge. That's not like a time which you have left. Here it was a little bit better. Here you had, I think, the percentage, and you had also the remaining run time, even usage time, a lot more. But I mean, what you need actually, that's just the percentage here. That's already nice. And regarding the runtime, I've been shaving my beard with a wet shave and it used 5%. You can see it's on 92% because I've also done some body shaving, which also worked good. That was another 3%. So I think the overall runtime here was a little bit longer. It's also a little bit heavier than this one. This one pretty lightweight. I mean, I liked the grip here, definitely easier to hold, especially when wet. This one here, a little bit difficult to hold when wet. I've been usually using it like that in the shower to not losing it because it can become quite slippery when wet. That's something which you have to know. Other than that, of course, it's super easy to hold, can be stored in a smaller place than this one here. But again, this one here has been performing really great for cutting, I mean for shaving my beard after about 3 or 4 days. It has been doing an excellent job in removing really all the hair in just 1 or 2 passes. Has been cutting super low, didn't leave any hair compared to this one where I usually had to go over the same area 5 to 10 times or so to really remove all the hair. And of course, as you know, it's not a good thing when you have to use 5 or 10 passes to remove all the hair. Definitely not really good for the skin. So that's much better with only 1 or 2 passes. Can also save you a lot of time. So it's cutting quite aggressively, but never hurt me in the face or something like that. I didn't have any problems or so after that. But especially if you're using it also for body shaving, I wouldn't use it in the very sensitive areas, for example armpits or so, or other super sensitive areas. But for the main parts, it has been working really great. And then the best of all, of course, that's the cleaning. You can see how this works with the magnetic head. Absolutely awesome. Usually already leaving it running like that under running water, it has cleaned out pretty much all the clippings, but especially of course when you're cutting longer hair, then there could be some hair here sticking, and so it's super easy to clean like that. Also this one here, if it's still not enough, you can even rotate this counterclockwise, take this part out and also take out the single blades here. I mean, you can even take out all the parts. You have to just be a little bit careful with the magnets. Magnets of course are very strong, but you can easily put it back here. Also the rotor blades, and then secure everything again with this part. Align it nicely and then secure it again clockwise with this part here. That's super simple, and then we can just put it back. Doesn't matter how you attach it, it's exactly same thing here. You can even rotate this and put it back, you can see. So the cleaning is definitely the easiest thing I've ever seen with such an electric shaver, and especially with a wet shaver. I mean, of course, you can use it also dry. I've been using it dry, worked also really good. Of course, it doesn't have like a special nano coating, and so wet shaving works a little bit easier. And what's also awesome is, I mean, compared to this one, which always has been struggling a little bit with the wet shaving, with dry shaving, it has been usually cutting really nicely, and with wet shaving it has left usually a lot of my hair, and so I had to go really many times over the same area to cut everything nicely. When wet cutting here, definitely much better. Even when wet cutting, it has removed everything really fast. And another super important thing, you probably heard that already, that it's running super quiet. Probably at the beginning you would think it's not strong, it's not powerful, but it's cutting really nice, and so you can even cut close to your ears and you don't have to be worried that it's too loud. Of course, we also have the other head. We can just pull this out here and then, for example, attach this one here. Just push it in straight till you hear the clicking, then you can start it. It works really nicely, even directly on the skin. Pretty much can't feel anything. I mean, it's not super soft, but I would say soft enough, and cutting really nicely. And with this cutter we can also add these combs here for different lengths. And of course we have also a nose trimmer to make sure that I'm aligning it correctly. So also this one works really good. What I like, it has really high speed and the blades seem to be pretty good quality. At least I couldn't feel anything when I was cutting nose hair. With some other nose hair cutters, I could definitely feel that in a very negative way. Of course, you can imagine if you have ever had that. Here I never could feel anything and it was really nicely cutting. Definitely huge positive surprise that not only the core function is working nicely, but also the accessories like this one here. You can even open that. Can see all parts here inside, but of course it's not needed. Easier to just keep it like that. You can also wash this or rinse it under running water. And we are not even finished with all the good stuff. One of the best things also here in the back, you can see, I mean, we get this standard USB-A to modern USB-C cable, and so we have this USB-C port here which you can use to charge. And of course not only with this cable, we can charge it with any USB-C cable. So let's see if it's even charging with PD. A lot of devices wouldn't charge like that with USB-C PD, like USB-C to USB-C. I'm definitely using a PD charger. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing that it's even charging with PD, so you don't have to carry your proprietary charging cable. So I think the function, quality and flexibility is absolutely amazing. So this thing just blew me away. I mean, it looks pretty simple, still stylish, but the details what we have here are absolutely amazing. So many positive things. You can see also here, this one here had this standard old-fashioned charging port, and so that's much better here. So again, I mean, this thing has so many advantages compared to this one, even though it doesn't look very advanced in the first place, but at the very end, this thing is a total game changer compared to this one. So this one, I mean, I'm keeping it, but it goes definitely back into the drawer, and so that's the one I'm going to use in the future on a daily basis, or at least every couple of days. And also very important to know for you, this is not a sponsored review for a free device or so. I paid full price. Yeah, I think it's also worth to talk a little bit about the price. I think I paid $29.99, something like that. They are saying original price is $239, something like that. And when you hold it in your hands, you can definitely feel that it's not a device which is ever sold for $239. It has never been sold for $239 and it will never be sold at $239. It's definitely not worth $239, no doubt about that. I had already shavers which cost a couple of hundreds of dollars, but there you could definitely feel that that's not something like that. So I guess it will always be around this price. I think I also wouldn't pay $50 for that. But if you can get it for below $30 or so, I think it's still a great value, even though I don't expect it to last for very, very long. Probably won't last 10 years or so, but I'm hoping for maybe 5 years or something like that, and then that would be good for me. But again, definitely an upgrade compared to this one here, no doubt about that. And so if you're interested, I'll put down the link to the Amazon listing down into the description so you can check it out and order one for you if you like. And I hope I've been able to help you a little bit with this video. If you have any questions or comments or want to share your own experience with this electric wet shaver, and just let us know down in the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things, and if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.